Welcome to the Key Learning Points Show.
Yeah, welcome everyone.
I'm excited for this.
Me too. This is going to be fun.
This is our first episode, so we're going to share some bite-sized insights, all from the world of personal development.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
it's amazing how much is out there, right?
Right.
And we want to kind of like distill it down to the stuff that's really going to like make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So for today, we've got three really interesting areas we're going to be diving into.
Yeah, hit me.
First up, we've got this story of a model named Vivian.
Okay.
And it really highlights the power of self-talk and how that can actually affect how other people see us.
Interesting.
Then we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about something completely different, the NBA draft.
All right.
But we're going to be looking at it through the lens of, like, identifying and nurturing potential.
Okay, I like it.
And finally, we're going to wrap things up with something that I think we can all benefit from, some tips on giving really great compliments.
Nice. I'm all about that positive vibes.
So let's start with Vivian.
Yeah.
So Vivian, she was, by all accounts, a stunningly gorgeous model.
Right.
Just like the kind of person that, lights up a room when she walks in. And,
Yeah.
But she had this one thing that she was just like super self-conscious about.
Where's that?
Her hair.
Really? Her hair? That's so interesting.
Yeah. And it wasn't even like there was anything objectively wrong with her hair.
Okay.
People would always compliment her on it, like, wow, your hair is amazing. You look so healthy. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
But she just had this like inner narrative that was completely different.
Yeah.
She'd be like, oh, it's so frizzy, or, oh, it's too thin, or, oh, it never does what I want it to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, she would actually talk about it this way all the time with everyone,
Mm-hmm. Wow. So she was really fixated on this, huh?
Yeah, and it's crazy because it actually ended up affecting her career.
Oh, no. How so?
So there was this big fashion magazine. They were having like a huge anniversary issue.
Sure.
And everyone's like, Vivian's got to be on the cover. She's perfect for this.
Yeah. Right. Makes sense.
But then the chief editor, the one who makes the final call,
Yeah.
he decided against it.
Really? What happened?
Apparently, he said there was just like something off about her hair.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's pretty harsh considering everyone else loved it.
Yeah, and here's the kicker.
Ah.
His opinion wasn't based on like, seeing her in a bad photo shoot or anything.
Yeah.
It was based on all the negative stuff that Vivian herself had been saying about her hair.
You're kidding. So all that negative self-talk actually ended up like shaping how this influential person saw her.
Exactly. And that's what's so powerful about this story.
Yeah. Yeah. It really shows you how our words have power, like real tangible power.
It's not about pretending that everything is perfect
Well,
or ignoring real challenges,
of course not.
but it's about being mindful of how we talk about ourselves.
I agree. Like you can acknowledge something without constantly putting it down.
Right, because when you constantly put yourself down, even if you don't mean it that way,
Yeah.
it can become like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Totally. And it reminds me of this quote by Jen Sincero. She says, what comes out of your mouth comes into your life.
Oh, I like that.
And it's so true. The words we use, they actually shape our reality both internally and externally.
Yeah, and it's so easy to fall into the trap of negative self-talk.
Oh, tell me about it.
We say things like, oh, I'm so bad at remembering names, or
Yes.
I could never learn a new language,
Mm-hmm.
and then we kind of start believing it,
Absolutely. And then everyone around us starts believing it too.
But imagine if we flip the script,
Okay.
What if instead of saying, I'm bad at remembering names, we said, hey, I'm working on improving my memory.
Yeah, that's way more empowering.
Right, and it opens up the possibility for growth.
Exactly. And that's a huge part of personal development, isn't it?
Absolutely. So I guess the takeaway here is to be really intentional about the words we use when we talk about ourselves.
Yeah, because they really do have the power to shape our reality.
Okay, so let's move on to our next topic.
All right, shoot.
The NBA draft.
Okay, now this should be interesting.
So for those who don't follow basketball, the NBA draft is basically this annual event where all these young, super talented players, they get selected by professional teams.
Right.
And it's how they enter the league, But what's really interesting about the draft is that it's not just about picking the best players right now.
Okay.
It's about identifying potential.
Oh, I see. So they're looking for players who might not be superstars yet.
Exactly. But they have the raw talent that drive the work ethic to become superstars.
So it's kind of like looking into the future.
Yeah, and trying to predict who's going to blossom, a few years down the line.
That's pretty cool.
And it's not just about basketball either. This whole concept of identifying potential.
Yeah.
It's super relevant in the corporate world too.
Oh, totally.
Like think about how companies are always looking for high potentials. the future leaders of the organization.
Yeah, they invest a lot in like leadership development programs and stuff.
Exactly. And the key is being able to see beyond what's immediately obvious.
Right, like someone might not have a ton of experience yet,
Uh-huh.
but they have this incredible ability to learn and adapt.
And they might have like a really unique perspective
Exactly.
that could bring something totally fresh to the company.
So the challenge is to look past those initial impressions and really dig deeper.
Yeah. Because the easy thing is to just go with the people who already have a proven track record. You know?
Right, the ones who've already got all the skills and the experience.
But spotting that is something that everyone can do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really give you a competitive advantage.
And it might mean that you're overlooking some real hidden gems.
Exactly. And that's what the material calls a common crime.
A crime. That's a strong word.
Yeah, because when you fail to recognize someone's potential, you're missing out on a huge opportunity.
Right, both for the individual and for the organization.
And it's not just limited to the workplace either. This whole idea of seeing potential,
Yeah.
it can apply to our personal lives too.
Like with our friends and family.
Like maybe you have a friend who's always had this like creative spark,
Yeah.
but they've never really had the chance to explore it.
And maybe with a little encouragement and support, they could become an amazing artist or musician or whatever it is they're passionate about.
Exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
surrounding ourselves with people who have diverse potential,
Mm-hmm.
it can be like a huge asset, you know?
It's like building your own personal all-star team.
Right. And just like in the NBA draft,
Yeah.
just because someone has potential doesn't mean they're going to be an instant success.
Right. Growth takes time and effort and the right environment.
So it's about recognizing the potential and then nurturing it.
I like that.
So as we go about our day,
Mm.
maybe we can all try to be a little bit more like NBA scouts.
Okay. I am game.
Look for the potential in the people we meet.
And be open to being surprised by what we find.
Okay, so for our final topic today, let's talk about compliments.
All right. Compliments. I
I
love a
used-
good compliment.
Me too. And they're actually a lot more powerful than we might realize.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, the material describes them as like a surefire way to connect with other people.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, think about it. When someone gives you a genuine compliment,
Uh-huh.
it just makes you feel good, right?
It does. It really brightens your day.
And it makes the other person feel good too.
So it's like a win-win.
Exactly.
Right.
And compliments can also be great conversation starters.
Yeah, they kind of break the ice.
So the first tip for giving awesome compliments is to be genuine.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like, don't just say something nice because you feel like you have to.
Yeah, or because you want something in return.
Right. It's got to come from a place of sincerity.
Like you genuinely appreciate something about the other person.
Exactly. And the second tip is to be spontaneous.
Spontaneous. Okay.
So if you have a positive thought about someone,
Yeah.
don't wait. Just say it right then and there.
So don't overthink it.
Yeah, because the more you overthink it, the less natural it's going to sound.
Right, it's got to be in the moment.
And the third tip is that if you can't say it, write it.
Oh, so like send a text or an email.
Exactly. Like maybe you met someone at an event and you thought they were really interesting,
Yeah.
but you didn't get a chance to tell them. You can always send them a message later.
Like, hey, I really enjoyed our conversation the other night. You had some really insightful things to say.
Exactly. And the fourth tip is to get extra points by noticing the less obvious details.
Okay, so don't just compliment the things that everyone else is complimenting.
Right. Like if someone's got a new haircut and they've already gotten a million compliments on it,
Yeah.
maybe compliment them on their new watch or their shoes or something.
Oh, it shows that you're really paying attention.
Okay, so there's this really handy formula that we can use to give great compliments.
Okay, I'm all ears.
It's called the 3-step compliment formula.
All right.
And it goes like this: name plus compliment plus question.
Okay, I think I can remember that.
So first you start with the person's name.
Right. Personalize it.
Exactly, because people love hearing their own name. Then you give the compliment itself.
Okay.
And a good way to do this is to use verbs like be, have, or do.
Give me some examples.
Sure. So you could say something like, you are so creative,
Using the verb be.
right? Or you have such a great sense of style,
Verb have.
or your presentation was really inspiring.
Verb do.
And if you're stuck for ideas,
Yeah.
you can always go with something like you're so kind or you have a beautiful smile.
Those are always nice to hear.
And you can also compliment someone on their possessions, like their shoes or their bag.
But be mindful of personal boundaries.
Exactly. Don't get too personal.
Okay, got it.
And then the third step is to ask a question.
Oh, I like that.
It keeps the conversation going.
And it shows that you're genuinely interested.
Right. So instead of just saying, I love your shoes,
Yeah.
you could say, I love your shoes. Where did you get them?
That's a good one.
Or if you say your presentation was really inspiring, you could ask, how did you get into public speaking?
Perfect.
So the point is to make it a conversation.
Not just a one-way compliment.
Right. And the beauty of compliments is that they're free,
Yeah,
but they can have such a huge impact on someone's day.
absolutely.
So let's all make an effort to give more compliments. You know,
And
notice the good in others and express it.
spread the positivity.
You know, when someone gives you a compliment,
Yeah,
just say thank you.
easy enough.
You don't have to feel obligated to give one back right away.
Especially if it wouldn't be genuine.
Exactly. Just accept the compliment gracefully.
And maybe ask them a question in return.
That's a great idea.
Keep the good vibes flowing.
So there you have it. 3 key insights from the world of personal development.
It's been a great first episode.
It has. And I'm already excited for the next one.
Me too.
Thank you for tuning in.
See you next time.
Till next time, at the Key Learning Point Show.